Now let us start the histology of glands. So glands are mainly formed from the epithelial cells. So epithelial cells specialize itself to form glands which are nothing but having a secretory function. So mainly glands may be as a single type of cells or may be arranged as a group structures. So we have mainly two types of glands like unicellular glands and multicellular glands which are belonging to our exocrine gland. So unicellular glands is mainly found in the epithelium lining of our intestine. So here we can check out the unicellular gland images. So unicellular glands, you can see it is found in our goblet cells. So you can see these are the unicellular glands. And next we have our multicellular glands, but most of the glands are multicellular glands but not unicellular glands. So we find unicellular glands in the epithelial lining of intestine, goblet cells, etc. So the multicellular glands, here you can check out, all these are remaining. Other than this, all these are multicellular glands. There are different types in multicellular glands. We are going to see them now. So the multicellular glands are mainly having a diverticulae from the epithelial cells, and they are divided into distal part and proximal part. So the distal part is mainly secretory element, and the proximal part, the secretions reach the epithelial surface. So you can see this is the distal part and this is the proximal part. So actually the distal part is mainly having the secretory element and it is squeezed out by a proximal part upon a epithelial surface. So that is the proximal part. So these are having diverticula. You can see the diverticula which are mainly formed from a epithelial cell. So we know that we are having mainly two types of glands, that is exocrine and endocrine glands. So the exocrine glands are also known as externally secretory glands, which mainly pour the secretions to the epithelial surface, so they are exocrine. Whereas endocrine glands which secrete their secretions directly into the blood, we know this. So the exocrine glands pouring the secretions on the epithelial surface directly by use of ducts. So we know that exocrine glands have ducts, but the endocrine glands doesn't have any ducts. So you can see these are the ducts which are present in exocrine glands. So exocrine glands are mainly composed of ducts, but endocrine glands are not having any ducts because they directly send their secretions into our blood. So these are having ducts. And endocrine glands are internally secreting glands, or also known as ductless glands. So remember, exocrine are externally because you know their secretions are poured out into the epithelium, but endocrine are internally because their secretions are going into blood, right? So they pour the secretions directly into the blood. So the secretions of exocrine gland are mainly by one duct. If only by one duct, then it is known as simple gland. So you can see here the simple alveolar gland, it is having only one duct, right? So it is a simple gland. And next we have the secretions. So remember that in exocrine glands we have unicellular, multicellular. In multicellular only we are having this different types of glands. So if it is having only one duct, then it is simple gland. And the secretion by number of groups of cells, that is all ducts unite together and form a compound gland. So you can see these are the compound alveolar. Many ducts, group of cells are forming a group of cells attached to the ducts, and these ducts are again in turn forming groups of ducts and forming a compound alveolar gland over here. And yeah, and next we have the tubular. So we are having different types of exocrine glands. They may be tubular in shape. If they are tubular in shape, they may be straight, coiled, or branch. So he can check out the tubular here. So simple tubular, it may be coiled tubular like this coiled tubular, or it may be simple but branch tubular, and it is compound tubular. So there are different types of tubular glands. And next we may form the rounded sacs or echinae, or also may be flash shaped. So rounded sacs or echinae like structures, sac like structures are formed, or also they may form like flash shaped alveoli. So you can see these are the alveolar, flash shaped alveoli. And next the glands where the secretory element is greatly extended is known as saccular glands. This is important point. And the exocrine gland may be unicellular, simple tubular, simple alveolar, echinar, compound tubular, compound alveolar, compound tubulo-alveolar, or racemose. So all these are mainly belonging to our exocrine glands. So all these structures which we see here are belonging to the exocrine gland. And exocrine gland may also secrete the it is divided into mucus glands and serous gland. So the mucus gland, its main secretion is mucopolysaccharide, and it collect in the apical part, and the nuclei is in the base and it is flattened. And the mucus gland is unstained, so they have empty look, or if we stain it, we can stain only by PAS, that is or periodic acid shift stain. And next, serous glands. Serous glands are mainly secretions. Their secretions are mainly protein in nature, and the cytoplasm is granular, and they stain bluish with the hematocyanin. So mucus glands are also unicellular glands and secreting mucus, and they're numerous in intestine, and they're called as goblet cells. So we have already seen the example of a mucus gland, that is a unicellular exocrine gland. So serous gland, nothing, they secrete the serum, that is cytoplasm having granular and they stain bluish with the H&E. So serous gland are having a central nuclei, and some glands may also contain both serous and mucous elements. Right. Now let us see the cells. So the cells are mainly protein secreting. Example in case of hormone producing cells, that is they're having more amount of rough endoplasmic reticulum, supranuclear Golgi is prominent, and they're having secretory granules mainly in the apical part because they need to secrete it outward, and they are acidophile and basophile. So mucin secreting cells also have large amount of rough endoplasmic reticulum and also Golgi. And the steroid producing cells also having as a steroid because lipid content mainly, as we know, rough endoplasmic reticulum is mainly connected with ribosomes and smooth with lipids. So it has steroid producing cells, so more amount of smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and also there is more amount of mitochondria. And the exocrine mainly throw out the contents by the exocytosis. So it may be divided into three types like merocrine, apocrine and holocrine. So the merocrine is also known as eccrine or epicrine, and the apical part is shed and secreted, then it is known as apocrine. All we know this, that is example here we can take the atypical sweat glands and also mammary glands. And in some cells like entire cell disintegrate to secrete. Yeah, here only we can understand entire means holocrine, and example is sebaceous gland. And some secretory elements of an exocrine are held by connective tissue mainly by reticular fibers. If you remember in a connective tissue lesson that the reticular fibers are having type 3 collagen, right? So the glandular tissue is mainly divided into lobules, and they are separated by the connective tissue septa, which forms the distinct lobes. So first the glandular tissue is divided into lobules, which is mainly separated by connective tissue and forms a distinct lobes. So first it is divided into lobules. So now we can understand that each lobe is containing different number of lobules in it, and it is separated by connective tissue, that is a glandular tissue. So the connective tissue covering the entire gland forms a capsule, and the gland is divided to lobes. Ducts draining it may be intralobular. So remember the gland is divided into lobe, right? So the ducts which are draining mainly into it may be intralobular, that is they lie within the lobule, and also they may interlobular. Interlobular means lie in the intervals between the lobules, or they also be interlobar, that is they lie between the adjacent lobes in increasing order of size. So the blood vessels and nerve supply pass by the connective tissue septa to reach mainly the secretory elements, and the exocrine glands are having rich blood supply, and they are under nerves and also hormonal control, and the secretory cells of the gland have the parenchyma, while the connective tissue in which the former lie in the stroma. And the endocrine cells are mainly arranged as cords or clumps with high rich blood supply, and they may also contain sinusoids. And example in thyroid, the cells are having rounded follicles, and the endocrine cells is mainly supported by the delicate connective tissue and also surrounded by capsule. And sometimes neoplasia, cancerous mass may occur in the epithelial lining of a gland, and it may be benign or also malignant. You know, benign it can't pass to others, so it's not so dangerous, but malignant is very dangerous, can pass through whole our body. So the benign in a gland is known as adenoma, but a malignant tumor in a gland is known as adenocarcinoma. So by this we just complete our basic of histology of glands, and we can next learn in detail of different glands, like we have salivary gland, pituitary gland, etc. So this is just an overview of glands.